whipped your ass.
Yes! You just made the list!
Brock Lesnar.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stuart Van.
My name is Joshua Plummer.
And yeah, we're back for our review of WrestleMania Backlash, or as I like to call it, WrestleMania Revenge Tour, just without the touring.
Or just Backlash.
To be honest, yeah, I mean, it was very strange show in the sense of why did they have to put WrestleMania on the front of Backlash when basically it's just Backlash. WWE do this a lot lately, where they have to add an extra title on the front of a thing, of a name of a show, just to reel people in. It's very strange, I've got to be honest. But
yes, but what is it Backlash from? Well, clearly from WrestleMania, as it always has been. I know. It don't need to put the WrestleMania. It feels like they're insulting us a little bit. It's like it's Backlash. It's like reaction to WrestleMania. It's like, yeah, we know what's going on. We're quite smart. You know, yeah. It's kind of like the explanation with the zombies as well. It's like, oh, this is why there are zombies here. Yeah, we know that now. It still doesn't make it any good. But we'll talk about that when we get into it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I've watched a lot of people have some strong feelings about that match. Got to be honest, if that's a nice way of saying it, strong feelings. But so obviously, again, it did have a lot of matches were basically they decided to take matches out at WrestleMania and just maybe put like an extra person in it, like the triple threat for the World Women's title. Put Charlotte in it with the the WWE Championship. Put Braun in it. Or have the Miz versus Damian Priest, that kind of stuff. Like, just mix it up just a little bit, but it's still basically WrestleMania rematches, right?
Yeah, the theme is the fallout. There's some kind of link. The only one, with the exception to that rule, was the SmackDown tag team match, which could have been on WrestleMania. But I guess they gave it that spot and gave it that time. In particular, I think, because they missed out on WrestleMania itself.
Yeah, to be fair, I get it, but he had two nights, but it's like that moment would have been nice to have in WrestleMania. But again, we'll get into that when we get into the tag team match, SmackDown tag team match. But just before we start going into it, I think this might be our first video we've actually properly recorded for YouTube. So, because we're using our YouTube more, or I'm trying to post more YouTube videos on this. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. That'd be really appreciated. Get us more views and, get our podcast out there, more people to know what we're doing. But if you obviously, if you want to listen to us in podcast form, just go on. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, all that kind of stuff. We're on there. Yeah, so check us out. So if you want to listen to more of us talking for a very long time about pro wrestling, go there, basically. But should we kind of get stuck into this?
Yes, what was the kickoff match? Because that's the only thing that I missed, really. I don't watch the kickoff anymore because nothing really ties in or makes sense, apart from going into the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. But what was the kickoff match? I completely missed it.
It was Sheamus versus Ricochet. I think it was non-title. From what again, I didn't watch either, but it's because it's like the pre-show's not really, as I said before, not really aimed at us. It's more people that might be lured in to sign up, but it's not really aimed at us. But yeah, I mean, apparently it was an open challenge by Sheamus, and then Ricochet answered the challenge. The match ended with Sheamus, not a bro kick, but apparently a running knee to the face of Ricochet, and I think Ricochet attacked him after the match, and so that might start a feud between them two. I think Helico. I think on a Raw he was injured.
Oh, Humberto Carrillo. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he got injured.
Legit injured.
Actually, yeah. From I think what Sheamus did. I don't think I don't know what the incident was, but so I think maybe Ricochet might be taking that spot for a couple of weeks, maybe. But it's just nice to see Ricochet on the show and actually show what he's good at. But then what's the match? But as you expect, Sheamus is the US champion. You can't really lose, can he, at the moment? He's got a good run going.
Yeah, all the champions at the moment, I'd say are looking fairly strong, like Sheamus in particular, Bobby Lashley, Roman, all looking pretty good, looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, the only downside to it is they're all heels. So, where's the faces, people? Come on. Like, they're all heels, but, come on, you got to have a face-heel balance. But Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. But so we obviously got so that was the kickoff show. Just one thing I want to point out as well as for the show overall is I put another Twitter poll out there because I keep putting them the last couple of pay-per-views. 29 people voted, so more people are voting, so that's good. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much for the people who voted.
Twitter handle, by the way, is @JoshandStewPod if you want to follow us on there.
Yes, we've done. Sorry for the loathing self-plugging, but it needs to be done. But get it done now.
Where else are we going to do it?
It's very, very true. But anyway, so the Twitter poll, obviously, it was very fluctuating. It wasn't as clear cut as the maybe like you would expect. But the kind of result from it, basically, 31% good, 31% okay, 24.1% great, and 13.8% bad. So the from that you notice that people either think it was okay or good, but not great.
As expected, really. The card wasn't particularly overwhelming. There's one or two matches you're potentially looking forward to, but otherwise not a great card from what else they were building towards on the on SmackDown. So, like for example, like the IC title situation, Apollo Crews, he has to now defend against Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Big E. King Shinsuke Nakamura. That's interesting. Now, hopefully, that goes somewhere. Lots of interesting things going on, but then they stick to kind of
this.
Yeah, dead, literally dead or undead storylines.
I mean, gonna be interesting. I've got a feeling. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that match. I've got a feeling you've got like some burned-in kind of like, why? Oh my God, why did they do this kind of feelings on it?
Oh, I know why, but there's a big kind of why of the why.
But I mean, again, we're getting to that. But I'm really curious to what you think, because it seems like you first minutes of this podcast, you said it how many times? So I think you're really not happy with this. So I'm intrigued to see what you feel about that. So, but when we get to that, but first we must talk about the other matches on the show. So we kicked off with a triple threat, one of two that we have through the was it two? Yeah, it was two throughout the show. With triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship with the newly crowned champion, the one at WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley going against Asuka and a returning Charlotte Flair. That's as we can probably guess, is gone back to what Charlotte Flair's always gimmick is. I'm better. Basically, what MGF is. I'm better than you, and you know it. It's basically Charlotte. Basically, her whole gimmick, isn't it? Or I might be wrong.
Yeah, and well, at least they kind of acknowledged it, that she's just been added into the match pretty much for no reason. Basically, just playing nicey nice with Sonya Deville.
I'm intrigued to see how you do that.
Yeah, there's some kind of dynamic going on between Sonya and what's his name, Adam Pearce. Even though they're not the general managers, but they clearly are the general managers.
They're just trying to do that thing they always do. It's like, we don't do GMs anymore. It's like, but they're making matches. They're doing the authority. They're GMs. No, not GMs. They're just
we don't do rematches anymore. The rematch clause is gone, or is it? Is it really? How long did that last?
But I had a feeling when I was thinking when she just got added to the match, I did think of like you because I know that's one of your pet peeves of wrestling matches where you just ask and you get a match. You know, it's just like. It's like basically she got suspended, attacked a ref, came back, said, "Can I have a match, please?" Yeah, go on then. It's like, what the hell? But it's fine. When it comes to this division, it's Charlotte's always going to be in around it, right? Charlotte. It's matches we might not be annoyed, but she keeps putting in title matches. No one can deny she's great, like in the ring. She always
she's very good.
Adds to anything she's involved in, 100%. So, and you could say she did kind of improve in this match, because obviously Asuka and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania was good, but it was missing something.
The build there, again, that was kind of built on, I want a match at WrestleMania, I challenge you. Oh, okay. And that was it.
Yeah, but so I want it because that's what technically Charlotte just did. but yeah, I think she did add, because obviously when triple threat was always triple threat matches, WWE were always kind of good. They always know that they've got it down to a T at this point of how to do make triple threat matches quite decent.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me when I was watching it, I did feel like the pacing was a bit off. If you know what I mean, like it felt like some of the moves weren't hitting as well, or this felt a bit off in the middle. It got better near the end. Yeah,
there was quite a few sections where it didn't really feel like a triple threat match. It was someone was out the ring after a very small knock, and then kind of a one-on-one match in the ring, whether it be Charlotte against Asuka or Asuka against Ripley. It didn't flow as well until it picked up the pace at the very end. You could tell that they were going towards the finish, because it was starting to flow that much better. They kind of knew what they were doing, what was up, what they were leading to.
Yeah, because I got to be honest, on this match, it kind of had that kind of feel of like, you know, as you do, like everyone individually gets their moments. Like first it was Rhea Ripley and Asuka turning on Charlotte. Makes sense. Take the, you know, team up, get rid of her. They can fight, and then Charlotte get back into it. Kept getting, you know, she had her moments. You know, exploder suplexes, working on Rhea Ripley's leg. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Then you had Asuka coming in. You know, as you expect, strikes to the face, using her kicking ability. Makes sense. Then Rhea Ripley had her moment. When she has I think she has some kicks to the face as well, and good like power series of moves. They all had their moments, if you know what I mean, of like, you know, as you expect in triple threats, because you know it's pointless if it's just one person dominates. They've all got to kind of have that illusion that, you know, anyone can win it. But it was kind of clear in this match that unless they wanted to really annoy the fans, it was clear that Rhea Ripley was probably going to win this match, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the one of the downsides, especially with this booking. There was a lot of criticism about Asuka being jobbed out, taking a lot of L's, and you know, someone has to take the loss here, and you know, it was Asuka, but it was either going to be Rhea retaining, potentially leading to Charlotte Flair and Rhea inside Hell in the Cell, potentially when I thought they were doing Money in the Bank next, which was odd.
But apparently, sorry to interrupt, but apparently what I heard is they do in Hell in a Cell because they want Money in the Bank to be the next pay-per-view to have fans.
Okay. Yep. That big kind of moment, potentially having a cash in. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it is kind of, I get that. So, and especially with Double or Nothing being full capacity, maybe that's Money in the Bank's their version of that, you know, full capacity.
Yeah. And plus Hell in the Cell, those kind of big moments, you can shoot them again if need be. So there's no fans there, so you can pre-record stuff if things go to shit.
Yeah. So especially Hell in a Cell, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong with a match like that. So I get that. But
just ask Mick Foley. Yeah, a lot of things can go wrong.
Yeah, just always ask Mick Foley. He's kind of the go-to guy with Hell in a Cells. Mm-hmm. You know, so nothing can go wrong in matches like that. No. Mick, he's like, yeah, they can, they really can. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So so they might have a match there. But yeah, it did feel like Rhea Ripley was gonna basically win. Like it wasn't gonna be the other two, because I think Asuka, it's so sad. He was in it for to take the pin. It's really sad. Because it's like, was it Dave Bautista, as you said? Was it Bautista? Like, literally, you were saying, why are you jobbing this person out? She's like probably best person in the company. Mm-hmm. But we've been saying that ever since she got called up, so nothing's going to change, sadly. Yeah. But at least she had good moments in this match. But yeah, we all basically, as you said, near the end, it picked up. As you know, like sort of like it felt a bit off, and then near the end, they kind of picked up the pace, kind of like both going for their moves. Obviously had Asuka and Rhea Ripley battling over who's going to hit their finishing moves. Charlotte came back in and kicked Rhea Ripley in the face. That's, you know, with that big boot that she does do, a really good big boot. Asuka, and then you got Asuka kicking Charlotte into the turnbuckle, and then Asuka kicking Charlotte. That's really weird because apparently like Charlotte just all of a sudden just went out of the shot and just didn't disappear.
Yeah, she hit a big boot, I believe it was, on Asuka, and then off screen, I guess, well, you can't tell where Charlotte is, but you assume like she's still on the apron, has plenty of time to break up that pinfall attempt, which led to Rhea winning. What the hell happened to Charlotte there? Did she just kick and then fall off the apron? That was odd.
Watching it back, like just the highlights, I tried to figure out, did I miss something? Like I think it's just someone might have said maybe it's a camera thing. Yeah. Maybe she was like, you know, hurt as much or was taken off the apron but just didn't pick it up. Mm-hmm. But it was a bit weird, yeah. It's just like all of a sudden, it's like, where's Charlotte gone? It's just like, where is she? But yeah, obviously, I think that might have been the moment when she was out. And then obviously, it was just what was it? Asuka, spinning kick, Charlotte another boot to the face. Then it was just baiting out of nowhere, as we were talking about at the beginning of the who's going to hit the finisher first. Rhea Ripley hits the Riptide on Asuka, got the pin, got the win, and then there was the final shot of basically Rhea Ripley rubbing it in Charlotte's face, saying, look at na. That's pretty much what it was like. So as you said, probably going to put Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte in Hell in a Cell or a rematch between those two anyway. But yeah, good opener. I think it was really good. I think it took time to get going, but when it did, it was there's potential there for like a good feud. So
yeah, I think so.
But to be fair, the women's division, could you say it's bare at the moment?
Well, especially kind of on Raw, like they're the first three I can think of. You know, I know Shayna and Nia Jax, I think, are technically on Raw, like well, both brands, even though they just lost the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. But does that spell the end of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler tag team? I kind of hope so. I think that's run its course, and I'd like to see Shayna have a proper push again and have a run as champion. That'd be quite fun.
I mean, definitely. I mean, to be fair, we all know we're huge fans of Shayna Baszler. Like, why are they not pushing this person? Like, come on.
Again, also being jobbed out, always taking the pin.
No, it's just I don't want to say it's because Vince doesn't get her. So basically, it's like, oh, she must take the pin. But we're talking about Vince McMahon here, so
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So but you said it looks like it's gonna be Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, and Asuka. I guess sadly is gonna probably be on the back burner again. That sucks. Just send her back to NXT and be a part of that division. That's what I say. That seems to be the answer for everything. If a great wrestler sucks, send her to NXT and they'll actually use her great. You know. But anyway, yeah. So obviously after that we had a match that I said at the opening should have been probably on WrestleMania. Was kind of a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the Dirty Dogs, I think they're called.
When were they called the Dirty Dogs? When was that established?
I don't know. I've got to be honest. I can't believe they don't call themselves the Glorious Show-Offs.
Yeah, exactly. The Dirty Dogs.
It's rubbish, and it's not even spelt. I don't think it's spelled dogs. I think it's apparently spelled
Dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, look at us, we're bad. Come on, man. But it's a weird name. They really missed the trick with the not having the Glorious Show-Offs.
Yeah.
It's just, but yeah, obviously we're talking about Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode going against Rey Mysterio and Dominik Mysterio, and the whole basically tagline for this was, are the Mysterios going to be the first father and son tag team champions?
That had some intrigue, which was quite nice. What I quite liked about this match, actually, well, obviously they gave it time. They could have easily just rushed this in like 5-10 minutes, which I thought they were just going to do. But no, they set it up where you've got the underdog, as Rey Mysterio is notorious underdog. He always has to like fight the odds, like, you know, the size advantage and everything like that. Taking out Dominik Mysterio, so now it's a handicap match situation. I did have an inkling that Rey Mysterio was maybe going to find a partner. He becomes tag team champion with that partner, whoever it is. Maybe that causes some dissension, maybe between father and son, leading to that feud. Because some people have been calling for that. They'd like to see Rey and Dominik, which, you know, they could happen down the line when they lose the titles. There's frustration there. Rey's trying to mentor Dominik, or like kind of use the experience, but he makes mistakes, or they both make mistakes, which causes tension. Then eventually, not Rey turning heel, obviously, but Dominik. You know, we've only seen babyface Dominik, but we'll see. But we'll see potentially the kind of the lying, cheating, and stealing from Dominik, because he is Eddie Guerrero's son.
Legitimate son. Yeah,
kayfabe.
Well, technically, he's nicked his legitimate father's finishing move. So
exactly.
So why not take his line, cheating, stealing? Why not?
He's going to come in is it a Cadillac or like a low rider, and the hydraulics next.
Yeah. I think that'd be a bit too, too close to home a little bit. But yeah. I mean, I you know how much we all, I guess, and everyone listening to this, always loved Eddie Guerrero's antics with lying, cheating, and stealing. Let's be honest. If we were in a match, that's the way we want to cheat. You know. But that's just me. But yeah, so obviously, I don't know if were you happy with like it being Rey being the underdog? Would it have been made more sense maybe Dominik being the 2-on-1? Maybe.
I'm not quite sure. But yeah, the kind of I guess the underdog of the underdogs, the least experienced in Dominik, having to. But I'm not quite sure whether it's just like experience. I'm not quite sure Dominik he hasn't had any handicap matches, has he? He's been involved in quite a few beatdowns 2-on-1. Handicap matches, so maybe they're just worried about him, I don't know, potentially carrying that just by himself.
Fair enough. I mean, I was just thinking it because I think the story they were trying to do is kind of like, with the whole thing of like Ray, like, can he beat the odds? But it would make, maybe it's just me being like, the perfect booker, like going, well, we make Dominik make sense because then it'll build him up. But maybe, as you said, it might be because maybe he's not there yet to be had that kind of thing, maybe. But yeah, it was just curious. But to be fair, it worked. Rey Mysterio is the ultimate underdog. It works. Yep. But obviously, we're talking about basically the dirty dogs, whatever we call them, attack Dominik. Yeah, they said it, not me. It's not mine. It's they're missing out. But yes, they attacked him from behind a bit. Obviously, we're talking about before the match, basically putting a sofa on him afterwards, attacking him, beating him up, and then putting a random sofa that seems to be hanging around backstage on, just there, and just putting a sofa on him. Yeah, and obviously back injured with the medical facility. Basically, Dominik's is not fit to compete. So Ray was like, as you said, like, when are you going to get a partner? But it looked like he was going all alone. And at the beginning, Ray was up for it. He was going for it, going straight at them, doing roll ups, he had done that really cool baseball. Was it basketball slide? Slides under the bottom rope and then does a splash.
Yep, through Bobby Roode or Robert Roode's, I can't remember if it's Bobby or Robert, going through his legs, taking out Dolph Ziggler. That was fun. The heels getting the upper hand, but they target his targeting his leg, I believe it was.
Yeah, working on his leg basically for the whole match. Most of the match makes sense because obviously he's a high flyer. Take out the leg. It's very smart tag team work. Mm-hmm. We had some really cool double teams by both Ziggler and Roode. I think we had this really cool thing where I think Roode was holding up Ray. I think holding him up, and then you got like an assisted Famouser by Dolph Ziggler. Really cool stuff there. And then we had this thing where we were talking about the slide splash thing we did earlier. But they did this really cool thing where they slided Rey Mysterio underneath the rope, and basically he slided into a super kick to the face on the outside. Yep. It was glorious. I mean, the kind of impact he got for that was really good. I mean, Sunday's match is really good double team moves. Really. And basically the story before, obviously, spoiler alert, Dominik came back. It's kind of the story we were expecting, right? Yeah. But basically, it was like they tried everything. They tried their finishes. They had a zigzag at some point. I think Dolph Ziggler hit everything. Ray just about get out for the 10 count as well. But yeah, Ray just couldn't put Ray down when he had the 2-1 advantage. And then obviously his son came in. Again, didn't do much because obviously I'm guessing he's playing on the injury with his ribs, so he couldn't do much. So Ray was keep doing a lot of the stuff here. But yeah, the kind of match kind of ended with obviously Robert. What is it? Robert Roode? I always get confused.
I think it is Robert Roode. Yeah.
Yeah, stop changing his name. It's so confusing in my head. He's got so many different names. But Robert Roode obviously getting a 619 by Rey Mysterio, and then tags in Dominik, and then Ray does a nice little that sunset flip kind of. It's basically like some really fancy Canadian Destroyer type thing onto Dolph Ziggler, onto the barricade. So he's out, and then obviously Dominik goes to the top, as we were saying, copying from his legit father, Eddie Guerrero, going to the top, hitting a frog splash on Robert Roode, gets the pin, gets the 1-2-3, and we have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions and the first father and son Tag Team Champions. So, yeah, as you said, I remember you saying on the Facebook you really enjoyed this tag team match.
I did, yeah. Actually, I think it didn't need to be like on WrestleMania as long as it's got that time. I'd rather they have it here and let it build that 17 minutes. It had a good pace to it, rather than it being on WrestleMania where it wouldn't get 10 minutes. They wouldn't have allowed it to flow. So they built it up pretty well, and I'm not quite sure which way it was going to go. We were behind the Mysterios, which is what you want. I enjoyed that match, and it's a pleasant surprise where you got a match you're not particularly looking forward to. There's a little bit of intrigue. First father and son duo, that's interesting. And they build on that to make sure there's kind of doubt that it can be done. The whole injury angle was nicely done. There were some really good close falls, some near finishes. Even throughout the show, it was really good.
Especially that zigzag. When he hit that zigzag, I was like, oh my god, they're going to do it, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're going to do that, aren't they? But no, I mean, to be fair, I'm going to call them the Glorious Sheriffs because I think it's a cooler name. It's a better name, right?
Yeah.
But Glorious Sheriffs, I'm going to call them that, is, I think they've had a good reign. I mean, the SmackDown division's pretty better anyway at this point. Good thing is, obviously, the Usos are back, so maybe they might challenge the Mysterios, maybe, because that might be, I mean, come on, just think of that. The Usos, Rey Mysterio, in the same ring. Come on, it's just the recipe for awesomeness, right?
That'd be good. If you built it now, again, with the idea of future dissension between the Mysterios, but also future, well, there's dissent between the Usos and a Hawaii family. Jimmy doesn't want to be Roman's bitch, thinks Jay is Roman's bitch. Jay just wants him to acknowledge Roman as the tribal chief, become SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
And Jimmy just wants his brother back.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that sets up nicely for that nice backstage confrontation at the back. But before we get into the... we're here. We're going to talk about it. Before we had the match that everyone's kind of raving about. Well, I wouldn't say raving about. Raging about is probably the word that describes it, right? Obviously, we had the John Morrison, basically The Miz, kind of like John Morrison being like, yeah, I'm good with people. I'll go and talk to these lumberjacks. I get them on your side. You'll be fine, this lumberjack. Be all good. And then knocks on the door. Apparently, someone didn't lock the door for some reason. Opened the door, and guess what he found? Zombies. My face, and I'm assuming yours, was very,
Yeah.
Apparently, Dave Bautista left a tweet saying, I can't be there tonight, but I left my friends.
But they're not his friends in the film.
No, he's got a gun and he's trying to stop them from eating him alive.
Yeah. And it's the whole stipulation with... going into it with Priest and Morrison on Raw, whoever won got to pick the stipulation, and Damian Priest was fighting off the zombies. Like, sure, you'd have the zombies on your side.
Oh my god! But yeah, we'll get to. But yeah, so after that, he made the biggest mistake. He left the bloody door open, idiot. So like now it's like all of a sudden all these zombies are pouring out. Miz, being a sensible human being, would be like, there's zombies, Morrison. He's like, mate, don't be stupid. There's not more. Zombies don't exist. Don't be silly. Okay, he got a big surprise during the match. But, yeah, so we had that, and that set up nicely for the next match. We have to talk about it. I'm sorry. I apologise for anyone listening. We have to talk about it. It says lumberjack match, but let's be honest, it's a zombie lumberjack match between Damian Priest and The Miz, with zombies that apparently are really clever because they actually abide by the rules.
Yeah, they abide by the rules. But this wouldn't even make sense. This isn't Extreme Rules or Horror Show Extreme Rules. This isn't ECW again, as Corey Graves said, which I appreciated. Especially the call out to that awful zombie gimmick.
Yes, the first ECW of the new era, and it was a zombie.
Yeah. And what was the reason for doing that? Oh, because they were on Sci-Fi. We needed some kind of Sci-Fi character. Let's do a zombie. We need to promote Batista's new film, Zombies. Okay. So how do we do it? We can play a trailer, partway through, because it's got previous WWE superstar. Oh, that most people would do. Yeah, you can do that. Or we can have lots and lots of zombies around the ring. We're a storyline where it makes absolutely no sense to do. It doesn't do any favors for the only kind of benefit for this feud. I mean, especially with WrestleMania with Bad Bunny. I mean, Bad Bunny looked decent, fine, but I didn't really care. Otherwise, I didn't know who he was. Not really a fan of his music. Whereas it was very good for Priest, a co-main event spot at WrestleMania. Very good, really good for Priest.
Very good job. I mean, but yeah, I feel for him here, man. His first kind of singles match on a pay-per-view, and it's involving zombies, and I mean, it's one of these things. It's really hard to kind of show, obviously, our kind of like shake head moments, because obviously this is audio. But this is while we're talking about this, I'm just shaking my head with like hands in my face, like what is this? I mean, as you said, like it's not like it's Halloween Havoc when they had zombies with that, with the whole thing when what was it? Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes were like in a horror match, right? it kind of made sense because it's like it's not like they're acknowledging they exist. It's just basically it's a Halloween thing. So at least then it was kind of okay. That's why they're there. It's like this is the most randomest thing I've ever seen. It's like it's like, and also what made someone pointed out really well is they were like acting like they were real. It's like no, zombies aren't real. And it's like and also technically the Miz and Morrison are dead, right?
Technically, I guess are they going to be written off TV because they pretty much, well, we're not quite sure what happened to Morrison. He got dragged off, so we assume he's been eaten. The Miz was surrounded and devoured.
I mean, to be fair, apparently Morrison had a match against Damien Priest, so he's alive. Congratulations. Yeah. But I mean, it's very hard to keep track of this match. Got to be honest. I got on my notes here. Just first thing is like my notes. Zombies are everywhere. It's pretty much what the start of the match was, right? just zombies.
We had Miz trying to avoid the zombies. He crawls under the ring, realizes there's no escape. He puts in a figure 4 leg lock, and the zombies break it up. So that was the only rules that the Lumberjacks broke. Because they were in the ring, you can't really do anything.
Gotta respect the zombies for following the rules. Gotta respect them.
Apart from naughty zombies breaking up that legitimate submission, we had the little team up where Miz and Priest have to fight off the zombies. Do they have weapons to fight off the zombies? No, we're just gonna punch them and then they just fall down.
Didn't Miz go under? They said let's move it. Went under the ring. Like, isn't there any weapons on that? Pipe, a chair?
No, pipe, chair, a kendo stick, something.
No, kendo sticks have been popularly used. Come on, but I mean, to be fair, if you're gonna take any redeeming qualities of this match, at least they committed to it. At least they didn't half-arse it. If you're gonna do a match like this, you kind of have to go all in or not at all.
Yeah.
But no, not a fan. Again, there was a Dame Priest. I think he had a cool spin heel kick from the top at some point. He had hit a Falcon Arrow. Was it a Falcon Arrow? Was it a Falcon Arrow?
Yeah, Falcon Arrow. Miz hurts his knee. John Morrison comes down eventually to make the save.
Live his dream of fighting zombies. Okay, think about it. He's parkour against zombies. Come on, that's a film right there.
He uses some parkour. Oh yeah, he did. Uses some parkour. However, he is grabbed by the leg by 2 zombies. This was a wrestling event.
I know.
Sake.
I gotta be honest.
I'm just trying to describe it as if it's a normal thing. No, it was zombies.
It's ridiculous, right?
He's dragged under, and that distracts the Miz. Damien Priest then hit the lights or the reckoning. I'm not quite sure what's it's called now.
Hit the lights neck breaker. Yeah.
Priest gets the win. Points up to the ceiling. Army of the Dead. Yeah, we think we know why. We established that it's for a film. It has actually nothing to do with this feud. Damien Priest picked the stipulation. Why would he? He must have chosen to have zombie lumberjacks, surely.
I mean, just simple. And these are the kind of matches that make me realise, if you had a friend that wasn't into wrestling, and they were watching this with you, there was nothing, and they were like, "You like this?" I'm like, "No, I'm not.
This is
I'm
the
not
bad
weird."
stuff.
No, it's like, oh god, it's just it could have just been. It'd be fine if it was a themed event and it was all about kind of that, and it'd be like, okay, I can deal with it because they're going into it. But nah, I'm not a fan. But at least if you're going to take any redeeming qualities out of it, at least the right person won. So yeah, and obviously, as I said, John Morrison apparently lied, but maybe the Miz is dead because he got consumed by zombies, as we said. Got eaten.
So I'm assuming he's going to be written off TV, but I'm not quite. Was he on Raw? I imagine he probably was. I've not watched Raw yet. I'm not too keen to watch Raw. I never really am these days.
I think Raw is bore. I think you're saying really relates to Raw at the moment.
Raw is bore, but what's worse than Raw is bore is one below where you have to watch it when you don't want to. It's Raw is chore. I was like, that's not good for your entertainment. You have to watch it, even though you know it's awful.
Yeah, it's like that's 3 hours. Especially for us, like us in the UK, it's not worth it because stay out until 3 or 4 in the morning watching a boring show. No, thank you.
Absolutely not. I'll just catch the highlights in the morning on YouTube or something.
Yep, them days are long and gone. But yes, obviously, was it just before? Just because if we talk about free matching, I've got a feeling that zombie match is worn us all out. We're just going to take a little quick break. We're going to hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be back and we'll talk more. Talk about the rest of WrestleMania Backlash. But yeah, I mean, why zombies? Why, of all the things, zombies?
In the words of the Cranberries lyrics, to Vince McMahon, what's in your head? Zombie.
It's terrible. Anyway, see you guys in a bit.
Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's Podgo at podgo.co. And be sure to add our podcast, the Josh and Stu Wrestling Podcast, in the How Did You Hear About Podgo section of your application.
So yeah, there was our sponsor. So we're back. Talk about the rest of the WrestleMania Backlash card. We promise it gets serious now. The final 3 matches. We promise. It gets proper. We're back to proper wrestling, not just weirdness. I just had a glimpse in thought when Jim Cornette. I would love to hear his thoughts on this. This is basically everything he despises in wrestling, isn't it? It's like literally. I need to find his podcast on YouTube. I just want to hear his. I want to see him just flip out. It just seems like it's perfect for him. But yeah, obviously, let's actually talk about serious stuff now, or actual wrestling. But yeah, obviously, before we talk about the women's SmackDown Women's Championship match, we had another backstage segment with the Usos. The same stuff, really, kind of like acknowledging that basically, like, why are you taking this from this guy? That kind of stuff. You should be with us. Setting the seeds for maybe a split or maybe a turn. But yeah, that was cool stuff. But yeah, so obviously now we get into the SmackDown Women's Championship match with the new champion Bianca Belair going against Bayley in. I think it's basically the same as the Sasha Banks one, where basically Bayley thinks she's better than Bianca Belair.
Yep, Bayley says that Bianca Belair is naive. And during their war of words on the Go Home edition of SmackDown, Bayley mentioned along the lines that when she looks at Bianca Belair, she sees a mirror of her former self. All the smiles and the pretty colours and the hair. That's who Bayley used to be with her wacky inflatable tube friends, whatever they're called. All hugs, all happy, all smiling. But no more. And as a result, Bayley became the first ever Grand Slam Women's Champion, the longest running SmackDown Women's Champion in history, with 380 odd days. But now it's the turn of the roughest, toughest, fastest, all the S's you can think of, the SDSs, I don't know, Bianca Belair. Good first choice of opponent, I thought.
I mean, it's where we were kind of going for, because obviously when you think about it, she's done Sasha Banks, it makes sense. It's Bayley next, right?
And Bayley didn't have, she had a WrestleMania moment, not the one we were expecting. We were expecting, maybe she's got the Ding Dong Hello, whatever a chat show was called. Are we going to see Ronda Rousey? No. Becky Lynch? No. We had the Bellas. Lovely. That was nice. Where are the zombies when you need them?
No. I can tolerate the Bella Twins, but no zombies. Okay, no. I draw the line there. But anyway, so Bayley was the perfect opponent here. And match wise, it was just it was great. I think it's like, as someone rightly said, just give these women 20 minutes, just do their thing.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of did. I think it was really good. I mean, it could have been a bit better maybe, because it did again. It kind of got slow to get going.
Yeah, figuring each other out. Bianca Belair demonstrating she is the strong guest. Throwing Bayley to the outside. Bayley landing hard there. We had a really nice snug arm lock by Belair, which was good. It had with Belair being the rookie, she, as Sasha would be pointing out in their feud, exactly, just taunting Belair, almost using the hair as a weapon.
I did like that. That was really cool.
But yeah, she's dominating the match, taunting, saying "kiss my ass" effectively, throwing Bayley around by the hair. So Bayley has to resort to vicious ground and pound tactics and knees to the back, some nice gritty stuff, keep Belair grounded, make sure she can't lift. Yep.
And then pulling on her earrings as well, like an earring, like kind of thing. Like, proper story that she's trying to beat her like she normally would, but when she doesn't work, she resorted to cheating Bayley and just basically used everything she could, like, grab her the hair, some couple like cheating roll-ups and that kind of stuff, trying everything. But as you expect, nothing was working. You can't beat Bianca Belair that way. So we had some, but yeah, we had some good stuff. I mean, I think once again, a really cool spot that I think we didn't point out is basically the bit where she done like a vertical suplex onto the steel steps, and then Bayley did, and then suplexed her back, put her back in the ring, and then pinned her. But then but Bianca Belair pushed her. She went outside the ring, like she kicked out, and she put so much force. Bayley flew out for the middle rope. And it's just like, I like that kind of stuff, because it's like, how do you show this person's awesome? You don't tell them how great he is. They show it, and they say she's the strongest. Show it, and they've showed it many times. And that was another one of those moments where they've gone, yeah, she's so strong she can kick out of her pin attempt, and someone can chuck other side because you go on the other side of the ring. So exactly. I think I like them kind of moments. But as I said before, we just said the rookie, I think, really triggered Bianca Belair at this point. She doesn't like that word, because after that, she'd basically beat the living crap out of Bayley at this point. Yeah,
don't call Bianca Belair a rookie, and don't touch her hair.
It's two golden rules, people. Come on, it's not hard. But apparently Bayley was desperate at this point. We had we had some cool moves at this point, but it was basically the whole thing at the end was basically Bayley was using as him, but as I said before, cheating, putting her foot on the ropes, them kind of moves. Doing another pin where she put her hand on the ropes to try and get leverage. The referee caught her this time. We had nice back and forth exchanges. Devious heel here with rake to the eye, proper trying every heel tactic in the book to try and get a win.
And a Bayley to belly, which I don't think we've seen for a while.
No, I mean, she hasn't seen it for a while. I mean, I like the idea. It was I like the way it was transitioned when she pulling the hair into it.
Yes,
that was really cool. I mean, but again, as you said, don't touch the hair.
Nope.
Just don't do it, because then if she was trying to hit her, was it a rose plant finisher? It's like kind of a basically, I think it's like a straight, some sort of skull crushing finale type thing, type move, something like that. Try to go for that, but
also
again,
using
really,
the hair.
Yeah, again, she just don't use the hair. Come on, people, ask Sasha Banks about it. Don't use the hair because you get whipped. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so obviously was in Bayley, Bianca Belair. You used an interesting way to use her hair. Done a roll up and then used the hair to hold the leg in place. It did fall off near the end, so didn't hold it properly. But yeah, so basically using her hair to get to put leverage on Bayley to get the 3 count. She gets the win and successfully defends her title. Bayley was not happy, as she continuously told Michael Cole that she cheated. It's like, yes, but comeuppance right there. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean, I think it's I think if this is a series of matches, I think they could do better. But for what again? What was the aim of it? To make Bianca Belair still look pretty awesome and clever, in the first match, they showed of how amazing she is. In the second match they've showed how clever she is. I think that's what they're going to try and do. Literally gradually show she's the baddest, the fastest, actually show it. Again, I love that. So more the same, please. But do you think this feud's over, or do you think this is just beginning?
I can imagine them trying to have some kind of feud for one of the women's titles inside Hell in the Cell. I think maybe Rhea and Charlotte would probably fit better, because they have that history beforehand anyway, where Charlotte beat Rhea, the kind of storyline, but Rhea Ripley can't beat Charlotte, maybe something like that. So did they wrestle on Raw? I'm not quite sure. But for there isn't really anyone else on SmackDown I can think of apart from if they do Shayna and Nia. I can imagine them doing some kind of feat of strength kind of thing with Nia, lifting her up or something like that. But
I mean,
really,
is that a match you want to see though?
No, I don't.
I mean, I don't know. I think there's the opportunity. I think there's legs on this Bayley one. I think there's not just a one and done. It's got a chance to be a nice build up to maybe SummerSlam, maybe like a couple matches to like the big one, whoever she goes against. I mean, the wild rumors gone around that Becky signed a new deal, so maybe that's her like trigger to come back. Maybe she'll go to SmackDown instead of Raw, maybe, but and maybe she'll challenge Bianca Belair. That give Bianca Belair a good challenge, then go against Becky, maybe. But I think Bayley would be a good like long term, like a couple of matches. Because he said there's not really anyone in that division yet that would be credible.
No. I mean, there's again Shayna, Nia, Carmella. That's all I can really think of.
No, I don't think there's anything there. But but for this match it was good. So I'm intrigued to see what they do Hell in a Cell with this one. If they have a rematch, that I assume they would. Probably in a no disqualification match or something, because so they can't cheat. Nothing can go wrong. But yeah. So, big match. I like it. I think maybe they're using the same formula that they've done with Drew, first champion, trying to put them against opponents to make them look great, so they look good. Because the way they're booking her is very similar to the way they booked Drew, in the sense that they put them against good opponents that show off their best side and not their worst. That's the way they should book champions. Yeah. Come on, that's how you should do it, right?
But we've got a dominant baby face, so she basically controlled that match all the way through until Bayley had to resort to dirty tactics. So they're going through that whole, again, all the S's, the fastest, strongest, quickest, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted. It's what really sad. I'm tempted to like look at all the S's, all the stuff they said, and see if I can figure out if they've done them in matches yet. I've got too much time, mate. Sorry, but I mean, if I like storylines like that, where every match has a purpose and every time showcase. If that's what they're doing, then bravo. But I would obviously say I'm giving WWE a bit too much credit there. I probably am, because 9 times out of 10, it doesn't sound like a thing they would do. But it is SmackDown, because SmackDown's been quite good, so maybe. But anyway, so obviously now we're going to talk about the. Could you say semi-main event? No, it's probably just before, because it's basically both world titles being defended back to back.
Well, they were plugging all the way through that the Universal Championship was the main event.
Yeah, it's just Roman's always the main event. Sorry, Bobby, but it's Roman, mate. So obviously we're talking about the triple threat for the WWE Championship with Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman. In a match that, again, it's nothing. It's Raw, so the build-up's probably hasn't been great, because we know what Raw's like these days. Kind of have to just take the build-up with some stuff with a pincers. So,
well, there was some build here. So we had the triple threat match with, and they explained it pretty well in the build-up package, which was nice. They did that all the way through the show, actually. Of what was going on in the build-up. So the triple threat match, Drew, Braun, and Orton. The winner of that match got to face Bobby Lashley. The match next, or the following week, where Orton was pinned, so it's Braun and Drew. If Braun beats Drew, the match becomes a triple threat. Obviously, Lashley and MVP are not very happy about that. Because they're pointing out the typical trope: the champion does not have to be pinned or submitted in order to lose his title or her title, depending on the championship. So MVP goes to Braun, obviously to do some kind of alliance, take out Drew, so you can eventually have that one-on-one match. Braun has been wanting a world title match for a while, ever since being left out of the Elimination Chamber match, leading to his feud with Shane McMahon. They had a fight in the cage because Shane called him stupid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you know what is stupid? Zombies. Zombies are stupid.
Yes. But, Shane. Shane. Why are you going after those?
Yeah.
Shocking. Anyway.
But then Braun deceives Bobby Lashley. Obviously, he beats down Drew, then he beats down Bobby. continues to beat down Drew, puts Brew through the barricade. So Braun is the one on top going into this pay-per-view.
And as you expect, MVP was going like, yeah, well, he doesn't have the smarts to, like see the bigger picture. It's like, can we stop doing the whole thing with Braun stupid just because he's big? It's like, can we just drop that and just show him as a monster like he used to be? I'm all right for that. But I mean, one thing with start a match I want to point out that's like, I don't know if it's just that's how his entrance is, John Raw, or just because they put it because it's pay-per-view. But my God, Bobby Lashley's like video entrance, right? Really cool, right? Mm-hmm. I like the kind of thing with the filter they've got on, like him like showing how amazing, like almighty. I mean, I don't know if that's what he normally does, because maybe that's a normal thing he does in Raw, but I just noticed it here. It's like, man, they really are pushing this guy. Yeah. They're actually trying to make him look like a proper badass. Mm-hmm. And you could sit there and say that it's succeeding very well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I went into this match kind of making the mistake that a lot of people were saying Bobby because to win it, purely for the fact that I guess in the way they've been building it doesn't look like he lose the title. But were you kind of thinking Drew, or was Bobby like the obvious choice, like who's going to win this? Maybe
it was going to be, if Drew did win it, he was going to pin like Braun, but it was odd, like Braun taking the pin. I'm kind of torn about it. You build up Braun, you build him up, and then he takes that loss. Even though he took two finishes back to back, a Claymore and a Spear. But I thought they were going to continue with Lashley as champion for a while, and then they might build up to the one-on-one match. That could be Hell in the Cell, Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was just thinking because it's like with Drew winning it, and opens up more opportunities. I think I watched a preview of it, and someone's pointed that out, and I was like, yeah, because there's too many heel champions, so it might be nice to mix it up a little bit. Maybe get some more faces having championships might be nice.
Yeah, but then again, Drew has gone against everyone as pretty much as WWE champion. Bobby Lashley hasn't.
Yeah, it's fair enough, but I mean, I got that one wrong, but it's fine, I mean, it just means I'm human. But yeah, as I said, surprising for start of the match, we had like, normally when they try the whole team up together type thing on one person type thing, normally it doesn't work, but surprisingly, Drew and McIntyre and Bobby Lashley actually teamed up. Like said, yeah, Drew was like, yeah, we need to take out Strowman. we need to take out this guy. We had this, nice double suplex, vertical suplex that you could see he was struggling to keep. I was worried because you can see the shaking of his arm. It's like, Braun's not, small. He's very large, man.
As they pointed out about 164 times, I think in commentary, that he was 385 pounds.
Is he?
Yeah.
But I hate when they overplug stuff like that. It's really annoying.
He's nearly 400 pounds. Yeah, we know. You've said that. You said that about 5 seconds ago.
I don't want to sit there and use the old sarcastic, well, I have eyes, but it's pretty obvious he's big. But it's what they do, the overplug sometimes. But yes, he had that. So then it was Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre having their fight. It sprayed to the outside. Well, kind of, it went to the outside, and then out of nowhere, the camera just missed it. Boom! We had a cannonball off the apron by Braun Strowman. It's like, come on, give him credit. He was really good this match. Like, I haven't seen him do anything like that. Like ever. It's like, no. Kind of worry a little bit though, because that could have went horribly wrong in so many ways.
Yes.
But I mean, and he done a really good job. He done his job well. He had a bit with he got control. He even hit like a one arm slam on Bobby Lashley. Then obviously, it's basically the same stuff as you expect. Triple threats, everyone getting their moments. We even got like a Drew McIntyre hit like some sort of zigzag type move on Braun Strowman. I don't know if that was intentional or maybe like saying he got dig deep down into the old playbook from his former tag team partner to try and get the win, maybe. Yeah. Or maybe he just thought it was a cool move. Whatever works. But yeah, it was nice noticing that.
There was quite a bit going on there, especially at the beginning. It was very fast paced. It's kind of difficult to kind of keep up, especially make notes on.
Oh, it's terrible for us reviewers here, isn't it? Like slow down. I need time to think. God forbid how those people that have to write every minute of these matches. I feel for them. You have our sympathies. But obviously, again, we had that. We had some cool move where basically he was outside. Yeah, Bobby Lashley had was it Drew McIntyre on his shoulder. I think he like kind of chucked him or kind of like put him into the post on the outside. And then again, Braun Strowman was like, oh yeah, this is a triple threat, so no disqualification. Boom, picked up the steel steps, hit both Bobby Lashley and Drew, as you expect. At this point, but then Drew got back into it and hit like some sort of hit the Claymore kick, Claymore on was it Braun Strowman, and he went over the barricade. He's out now. It's just Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, and as you expect, fighting up the stage. We had the stuff we were hitting on the. I call it a Titantron, but you could say the stage, like hitting constant headshots with there, but. The big bit was the bit where Drew McIntyre threw Bobby Lashley into like the kind of side of the LED board type thing.
Not quite as spectacular as Braun Strowman spearing. No, was it Braun Strowman or was it Bobby Lashley who speared? Well, either way, they did that big spear through the Titantron, through the LED boards.
Were you expecting that? Like when they were fighting on the stairs, I was waiting for where's Braun? He's just gonna spear.
Here comes the Strowman Express, bang. Yeah.
That's what I was expecting, but apparently not. But yeah, so he was out, and then they did kind of mention it's like he checked if Bobby Lashley was there, and he's like, oh, he's gone. So maybe using a bit of smarts there, maybe waiting out. But yeah, so Bobby Lashley was out for most of his match at that point. Didn't see him until the end, and then it was just basically then it was just being Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. The usual stuff. That running shoulder tackle, I think he done on Drew, like slammed him on the apron. That was really cool. The Braun Express, as we call it. We had that bit, went for that. Drew done a nice little belly, was it belly to belly? Not belly to belly suplex to like chuck him over. Like, it was really cool. Drew was trying to go for the Claymore again. Braun Strowman caught him, lifted him up very nicely. Boom, slammed him through the announce table. You've got to have an announce table spot in triple threat. It's kind of in the bylaws, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to be done.
Absolutely.
But yeah, but after that, Braun Strowman's like, I've got to finish this. Brought him into the ring. He was going to go for the running power slam. And then Drew got out of it, hit the Claymore. And then, as I said earlier, Bobby Lashley mysteriously came out of nowhere, unscathed, with no burns. He's like, he's alive. Comes out, chucks Drew McIntyre outside the ring, hits a spear on Braun Strowman, gets the win. Still the WWE champion. A lot of people saying this could be his match of the night, would you say? Or at least candidate.
It was probably the most action-packed of the night, but I think in the matches I enjoyed the most, I actually enjoyed the tag team match because I was pleasantly surprised of how well it went down and how well it was booked.
I mean, storyline wise, I mean, I totally get why you're into that because it actually felt like a genuine moment, like a proper moment. But action packed. Yeah, you would sit there and say it's match in general. Like these matches are always fun because you can get away with some crazy stuff because of the no disqualification stigma of a triple threat match. So you can do what you want. But I mean, again, I like the idea that maybe it's like the usual thing where Bobby Lashley using his smarts near the end to keep the title. That's instead of using his brute force, he's using his brains. So he's actually he's not the brawn or the smarts. Like he can use both. So I like that. Yeah. Again, it looks like. Do you think Strowman's going to be? Is he just putting it because why not, and then he's out of it, or is it going to be like a Bobby Lashley Drew another rematch where Drew finally gets that title? Maybe.
I can see him probably potentially moving on. I'm not quite sure. Are they going to have? Are they doing like a draft soon? I'm not quite sure because I think it's probably worth now. There's a time to do some kind of draft and mix it up because everything's getting a little bit stale. Like even on the SmackDown side of things, there are some feuds that are getting a bit tiresome.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they don't really have a set time frame for them drafts anymore. They just kind of spring them on us, like when they're
just gonna shake things up.
Pretty much. There's no like annual draft. It's not like the NFL like America is like every year, or like the transfer window in football. It's like the same thing. It's just like when they can be bothered, they're like, oh, we should maybe check. Well, it's been 2 years, maybe we should shake things. It's been 6 months. Let's shake up. It's no like set. To be fair, if they had a set time frame for it, it would make so much more sense. and it would make the brand split. Let's be honest, it's not a brand split anymore. More legitimate, but yeah. I mean, again, I got it wrong here. It happens, but I loving what they're doing with Bobby. Like they made a huge mistake when they got rid of the Hurt Business, but when they take away that, like this match, I think they've recovered quite nicely. I think take away that terrible stuff in the matches, these title matches like WrestleMania and here, they've really he looked great. Like I said before, when you always say Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, I've always said this in the last podcast, they always go, oh, do we want to see that? And I'm like, nah, I'm not a fan. After watching the last couple of months with Bobby Lashley booking, I get it. I totally get it. Maybe could that be the build to maybe a match at SummerSlam? Maybe Brock, or who do you think's going to take that title from him? Maybe.
Yeah, potentially Brock, or if they want to wait out and do Drew and Bobby Lashley again at SummerSlam. Unless we get, I'm not quite sure what's going on with Keith Lee. Unless they're saving like a big moment, but I have no idea. That's really under wraps. Apparently, it's like something's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully it's a thing, nothing too serious with that one.
Yeah.
Hopefully hopefully it's okay. Yeah, I mean, again, Danny Bryan. Think about it. He technically lost that match to Roman Reigns to not compete on SmackDown. So maybe that's a reason to put him on Raw. And maybe he takes stuff. Again, no one's against that. Come on, Danny Bryan win the WWE Championship. Are you against that? I wouldn't be.
No.
But I mean, Bobby Lashley versus Danny Bryan at SummerSlam sounds like it's a marquee match, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Drew's. I got a feeling they're either just gonna give up with Drew and kind of let him do his thing, or they're just really teasing the hell out of it that he's gonna get that title back.
I think he will do eventually.
But yeah, but again, good fun match. I mean, Braun's just basically, I think it's the best match I've seen him in a while. Maybe, at least they're kind of doing something with him. Can we stop his dumb thing though? I don't like them kind of stuff with people. Can we just say he's just a brute? He's a monster, you know? Like you just don't mess with him. I think they kind of have, but just stop doing the whole he's an idiot. Not a fan.
Yeah.
But but yeah, here we go. We're into it. We're into the main event of the evening. We got there. I think we're on good time, good pace. I think we've done well. So, good for us, I guess. So we're in the main event. Obviously, of course, it's the main event. Of course, there's only one person that's going to be a main event. The head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, going against the Swiss Superman Cesaro in a match that is long overdue. Have a Cesaro in a world title match. What are you thinking of his booking going into this? Because I think they've built up really well.
I think it's built up really well. Maybe far too much of the kind of Daniel Bryan doing some of the work to push Cesaro when, Cesaro, I think he could have easily done it enough on his own. He didn't need to have the bigging up from Bryan like so much, but I guess you can understand the kind of backlash element of it because Bryan put his career on the line against Roman. He lost. Cesaro wants some revenge.
Yeah, I mean, but again, they have been building him really well. Probably this year, like last couple of months, are just like, this guy's really freaking good. At least they've dropped the whole thing where the fans are just starting to acknowledge him. Rubbish, because it's like that insults me as a fan and you as a fan as well. Like us as fans, like we know he's been great for years, so stop that rubbish. It's not our fault, okay, that you only notice it now because of the threat he might leave. But they're doing well. I mean, again, sadly, you could sit there and say our criticism is no one was ever thinking Cesaro was winning this match, unless you were really wanting some kind of Roman's not losing that title for a long time, but the match itself, really good. Really good. I mean, they had a kind of obviously the build up to that was we've talked through entirely of this show, of this review, talking about the family drama. There was a nice thing at the beginning where Jey-Uso was kind of bigging up Roman Reigns, like, yeah, you can do this, mate. And you got Roman Reigns like looking at him going, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, you standing with your brother early on. Yeah, go and find your brother. And it's like, so it looks like Roman Reigns was going out there on his own. No help from Jay or anyone.
Nope.
So, But I mean, I like that drama they're building there. Again, it's just the family drama with Roman Reigns and the Usos has been really compelling. I want it to be really good stuff.
Because it could have been so easy done where like the Usos just come in and go, oh yeah, by the way, we're teaming up with you just because.
Because we're all family, but they made a way.
Yeah.
They've actually tried to make it mean something that's.
Yeah.
They respect that you can't just like do that. So, but yeah, it's the best. Because is it fair to say best storyline WWE at the moment?
One of the most compelling, for sure. Yes.
100%. But yeah, so it was a no cheating, no like interference, nothing. It was just a clean-ish one-on-one match between Cesaro and Roman Reigns, and yeah, it was good stuff. As you expect, Cesaro frustrating kind of Roman Reigns at the beginning, kind of we done a lot of like basic rest holds, that kind of stuff, and then kind of but Cesaro was keep getting the advantage. I think he had like nice 3 quick pin attempts by Cesaro on Roman Reigns. He did not like this because obviously he likes to dominate in the ring, so he didn't like that. So we went outside, rethinked, got back in. Sad truth is we never got a swing.
Never got the swing.
I mean, I guess Roman doesn't take swings. I mean, I guess it's because it's a comedy spot, kind of. So it's like, with a match this serious, can he really do this? Like that kind of thing with Roman, maybe? Right. If that's what they were going for.
Plus, Roman Reigns has put that extra bit of muscle on, the extra 15 pounds. I mean, that could just have been some bullshit they made up. You know what they are like with weights and heights. They always add things. But yeah, plus with the swing, him trying to attempt it with an injured arm, injured tricep, he wasn't going to lift him up after that. So that made sense. You wouldn't attempt it. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, most of the match is basically like Cesaro trying to struggle through that arm injury, like Roman Reigns capitalising on it. A lot of stuff. Whoever was it? Was it arm on the post? We had this really cool. It's made near the end of the match, really, but like a bit when they won the apron, and I think it was like they're fighting on the apron, and I think Cesaro went to the top, and then Roman Reigns kicked him in the face, and he kind of like when he was falling off, Roman Reigns hold on to his arm. Yep. His injured arm, just to hurt it a bit more. It's like I like that kind of little stuff like that. Just to properly work on that arm. I don't know if it actually is maybe a little bit injured because it looked a bit scarred up a little bit, didn't it? Looked a bit like
it took a bit of a knock, but if it was legitimately injured, they'd probably taken a little bit more care with it. I'd imagine, especially if they say they want to continue the feud, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, because I think Cesaro's arm injuries, I think is well documented, isn't it? I think it's arm injuries or knee injuries or something. I think, sure. But yeah, it was very convincing. Let's go by that. That's the word. But we had some, as you expect, a lot of uppercuts. But, when Cesaro got back into it, a lot of pop-up uppercuts, a lot of uppercuts in the thing he does in both corners, that kind of stuff. You could say that maybe Cesaro was Roman Reigns working on the arm of Cesaro, but you could also say that Cesaro was working on Roman Reigns' knee to try and lock in that sharpshooter. That he did do once or twice. It was a nice homage. Yeah,
he foolishly, especially like towards the end, he had the sharpshooter locked in, cinched down really low, so Roman's not going anywhere. He then decided to change it up. I mean, going into a yes lock, I can understand going for yes lock. That nice little homage to Daniel Bryan, but that was his own undoing. He's got the injured arm, using the arm to apply the submission. Just keep using your legs, use that hold, injure the back, injure the leg of Roman Reigns. But no, he changed it up.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice transition. I think he was trying to get out of it. I think Roman. I think he was trying to get out, trying to spin, but he couldn't get out of it. But then he's changed to the I say crossface, but yes, lock, same thing. But I mean, it's the only way. To be fair, Roman, the only way you're gonna we all everyone knows he technically tapped twice for the last year. So it's he can make Roman tap if you put enough pressure. It just depends on if the ref can see it. So, I get that. But we had so did some cool stuff. We had was that corkscrew plancher? Is that how you say it? So nice. Again, working on the arm, all that kind of stuff. They had a lot of good trash talking by Roman Reigns, was it working on Cesaro's arm and then kind of going, "Hey Daniel, how you doing? Are you watching this?" That kind of really rubbing it in. That do you think he'll come back? Or do you think this is it? If they want to, because to be fair, them stipulations never really hold up over time.
I think I think he'll be, if he does come back, it won't be for a while, or hopefully, because WWE are like, well, they'll just say, oh, he's going to be gone, or this kind of stipulation, but they're back like next month or next week or whenever.
Yeah, don't see him. So don't see him punk it. Don't see him
punk it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's but maybe I don't know. Just because it seems like with him kind of gloating about him, it seems like it's setting it up for him to come back to be like, what? Like, I'm back. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just curious but yeah, like, a lot of trash talking here. I mean, Roman's pretty much nailed it at this point when it comes to his matches. It is in a time when you can't hear what he says in the ring. No. I mean, but yeah, it was cool stuff there. You had Cesaro like working on as they're working on leg to knee, when very unique. I never seen it before, like headbutting. It's not unique, but it's very rare you see a wrestler do it when he using his head butting someone's leg. I mean, that's very strange. Headbutting him, a nice double stomp, and then he tried to go for the neutralizer, but couldn't because of the injured arm. Really playing that good storytelling stuff there, but. Again, the best you could say the best moment of the match was that really cool. Was it Cesaro was trying to go that springboard uppercut, but then you wouldn't say walked in, but kind of like walked into a Superman punch, in midair. I love those spots, don't you? I love those spots. A bit.
I do like those spots, but they really oversell it, especially on like YouTube, like all the kind of clips of the match, all the highlights. They go, "Oh, Roman Reigns hits a Superman punch." Well, we know he's going to hit a Superman punch. That's one of his signature moves. Why is that a big surprise?
Yeah, I know, but I know. But at least it's on SmackDown now. We don't. Well, I say that we've got Pat. The one thing I've noticed for this entire show, we've got Pat McAfee as commentary team on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Complete change of subject, of course, but why not? Yep. But at the beginning match, his mic cut off. Like, noticed it was quite funny. Yeah, he couldn't speak, but. Yeah. But I mean, he made this match really good as well because it's just nice. I think his commentary style was just so refreshing,
Yeah, especially when you've got Michael Cole hitting all the tropes and all the catchphrases. You can basically just play bingo of whatever he's going to say.
Drinking game, whatever works.
Yeah, exactly. You can play that if you want. I wouldn't advise it because you get drunk very quickly, very early on.
Yes.
One of those kind of guests, like kind of commentary or new commentary. So like Samoa Joe's commentary, I really enjoyed, apart from the moments in Drew's match where he'll just go, "Give us a kiss," which out of context is very odd.
Very strange, right? But yeah, I just thought to point out because I don't know. It's just because obviously at first I wasn't a fan of Pat McAfee at first when he started, but he's really grown on me. Like when it comes to his start, and I think it's refreshing on SmackDown that he feels unique. It feels different. But
I
anyway,
think the respect has been earned. I think when he started off, he was very kind of big and over the top. You're not quite sure if this is a character or genuinely him. Then he did the interview with Adam Cole, that rivalry there, and it turns out, he's pretty good in the ring. Fair play.
Yeah, and then obviously the War Game stuff as well. Obviously he did do some pretty spectacular spots in that. So he took he took the school of Shane McMahon, where how do you get people to respect you? Take huge bumps, really uncomfortably huge bumps. Tall. Yes, and he did do that. So, but anyway, again, change subject. Let's get back. But I just thought I'd point it out. But obviously, but let's kind of go into the end of the match where basically what was it? Roman was was back in control, punching. Them strikes he does to the forehead that always look vicious. He hit a nice little sit down powerbomb on Cesaro for 2. But then obviously it didn't work, so obviously delivering more than punches to the head. And then he goes to that guillotine choke that he's choked out so many people during his title reign. But Cesaro was able, he was able to try. He tried to get out of it. He basically he lifted him up and slammed him, but he still couldn't get it unlocked. I don't think.
No.
But then obviously, and then obviously after that, obviously he kept it locked in. He tried everything. He tried to power out everything. Cesaro couldn't get out. So basically, Cesaro passed out. Didn't tap out. Didn't quit. He passed out, and the referee called it, and basically, so as he's defeated many people over times, and as someone pointing out here is how he beat Danny Bryan. So another insult to injury to Danny Bryan. They beat Cesaro the way Danny Bryan was taken out. So again, the moral of the story: Roman Reigns still looks strong.
Yep.
Cesaro looks actually, if they made him look, he looks gracious in defeat. They've succeeded because he's really good in this match, as you expect.
Yep.
And but yeah, I think very successful. I mean, again, would you say match in that, or do you think the triple threat was better?
I think with story building into it, best story for sure. They could have played the threat of Cesaro, or being more of a threat more, but I think they focused more on the dissension with the Usos, and more of Daniel Bryan, rather than the actual threat of Cesaro. But out of all the matches I enjoyed, I think that was a good match. But I actually, as I mentioned before, I liked the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match.
Fair enough.
Actually, yeah.
I think you could say this maybe went a bit too longer than it should. Like maybe a bit shorter.
I don't mind if it's the main event. It's probably the longest match.
Yeah.
You know, we're used to that kind of old school. Well, they're not as long as they used to be. Where they used to be like an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah, well,
you know, the likes of Bruno Sammartino.
Oh no, I mean,
and the like.
Well,
yeah.
Well, to be fair, I was just finished off watching. I was do my Judgment Day 2000 review, and I've just watched the 60-minute Iron Man match main event, so I shouldn't really be talking.
Oh yes, you watch all of that, and it has a very odd ending.
I'm looking forward to
Really
talking
is.
about that, like in my podcast. But
It's the American Badass. Oh, he's returned, and he costs the Rock, even though he's a face.
he's
Well,
the good. He's the good guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, not as perfect as everyone thinks it is. Sometimes it has some questionable
No.
decisions. But anyway, yeah. So match, yeah, I get that, but it just felt like they could have been chipped off another couple of minutes on this match. But it's only that's like the minute of nitpicks. But yeah, as you would expect, end of the match, end of the show. But no, Jey Uso come out, celebrating with his cousin, tribal chief, giving him
Yep.
kind of the ceremonial kind of what they called. Oh, I can't remember what they're called. Put it around his neck. Like I don't know what they're called. I think it's like a Hawaiian tradition or something like that. Samoan tradition.
I think it's like a reef. I'm not quite sure what it's called.
I think that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, reef, that kind of thing. But yeah, so do that because obviously he acknowledges him. But yeah, Jey Uso is absolutely fired up at this point and says, "Can I go after him?" Hits super kicks on Cesaro, just about to go to the top, and guess who turns up? Seth
To
freaking
burn
Rollins.
it all down.
With a combination of his old theme and his new theme that
Yep.
it's fine. I mean, I have to listen to it properly before I have a feelings on it. But yeah, obviously.
Oh yeah, what do you think of Roman Reigns' new theme?
It works, I guess, but I think it's like I don't know what it is about themes at the moment. They're not doing like the main roster ones. They're very all sound the same.
Yes.
It doesn't. It for me, I felt like it needed some sort of badass kind of like. It just feels like they put some like music on there, like kind of like choir music to see epicness, and then the kind of like it builds into something that's a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, into the underwhelming section, something that a big operatic kind of section I really liked, and I like the incorporation of that old Shield riff. It's still in there, the remnants of it. Remnants of old themes, like going all the way through as the theme evolves. So the Rock's theme is pretty much all the same. It just builds and builds and builds and crescendos. Yeah,
I mean, I might have to listen to it properly because I don't think it's on Spotify yet. So I haven't had a quick listen, but I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I think they could have done more of it, but it's just one of those things. But yeah, obviously Seth came out with his suit games on point as always. I don't know who makes his suits, but
I don't know who painted his suit, who attacked him afterwards.
I know, bravo. I gotta be on bravo with the suit though. I gotta be honest, it looked really good. But yeah, obviously Seth is like, who do you think basically attacks out, thinking, do you know who I am? Seth freaking Rollins. Attacked him threw his arm on. I think he was like attacked him on the announce table. We kind of like put his got a steel chair, attacked him with a steel chair. Was it what's the word I'm looking for? Like he put basically his steel chair on his arm, kind of like proper hitting him with that, and then obviously done the what you expect, kind of like slam it like a kick to the chair into the post. He's already injured arm, so if he's not in a sling, he should be out for a while. There would be like a nice little storyline beat. Yep. And then more insult to injury, a nice curve stomp onto the outside. And then the show ends with Seth Rollins, very happy man, gloating in the ring. So, Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it looks like either we've got a WrestleMania. I mean, at some Hell in a Cell, it's either going to be Rome. It's either going to be both of the Usos fighting each other. That would be interesting, or we're definitely gonna have Seth versus Cesaro.
Yeah, we may even have Roman versus Jimmy, where it's same as last year, where Roman and Jay was inside Hell in the Cell. Does Roman have to teach Jimmy the exact same lesson?
I'm not against that. I mean, to be fair, that was then both of those matches were really, really good.
Yeah, I made your brother quit. I'll make you quit.
Yeah, I mean, it's still otherwise it makes sense. Or you can go Roman now, or you can just do the cousins thing. Whatever works. Like, I think what they could do is you can do Roman versus Jimmy, have the brothers fight out. Whatever works. I mean, but do you think it's going to be in Hell in a Cell? Because it seems like it's a rivalry that needs Hell in a Cell. Maybe. I don't know.
A year on, yeah, I can see that again. Roman teaching Jimmy that lesson, or he tries to get Roman to get Jay to teach Jimmy a lesson. And again, putting the stakes on Jay again. Or if they do, I mean, we had 2 triple threat matches already. So are they going to do Roman versus Seth versus Cesaro?
I mean, the only thing that makes sense the way they're looking, the teasing. It seems like it's SummerSlam. It's going to be Seth versus Roman. Mm-hmm. That again,
2 heels.
Yeah, but then it can make it work before. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's what they're kind of teasing it, but it's only what makes sense in the moment. Because unless they have like a Money in the Bank, they have a match, or maybe Seth wins the Money in the Bank. Then could cash in a Roman. I don't know. Whatever works. I mean, but at least there's kind of a direction to the Universal title. So you got like options. That's kind of you can't really say that with the Raw WWE, really.
No.
But it's fine. But I mean, as an ending, it's fine. I mean, it's a bit weird that obviously Seth gets the last laugh of the show when the tribal chief doesn't. But
I mean, that's probably going to have some ramifications. So Roman Reigns, that's his moment. I'm the tribal chief. I'm the face of SmackDown. Then Seth comes in and he's got the final image. He gets the last laugh. No. Yeah, Roman's probably not going to be happy about that.
So I'm intrigued to watch that. I mean, I might. Because obviously, I might see if I can watch it on Friday if I'm not busy. Because or actually watch SmackDown. Cause I should really, shouldn't I? Because it's actually a really good show, apparently. So
SmackDown is.
So I might have to check it out. So, but anyway, yeah, so that's WrestleMania Backlash. We've got through it. Good. I think we've got for a good timing as well, because I don't think we rambled as much. That's nice. I think we'll become professionals about this.
Yeah, it was a show where the card wasn't particularly great, but it stuck to the theme of Backlash well.
Except for one
match. There was except for one match, which was just to promote a film with a feud which was pretty much already dead. It didn't do anyone any favors. No. If anything, it literally killed. Well, it killed off The Miz and Morrison, but it's probably killed Damian Priest a bit as well.
I just remember you sitting there saying, "No, the feud is already dead." I mean, is the puns there?
Yeah,
the puns are already there. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I interrupt you. You go. Finish off.
And I like it when the show there was a match which you're not particularly looking forward to, and it ends up being one of my favourite matches of the night.
Yeah, I mean. I like that in wrestling. Don't you like that? Like when a match surprises you.
I like being pleasantly surprised. Yeah,
it's rare these days. WWE, it's very rare. But yeah, I totally agree, man. I mean, I think I like this tag team match, but I think you just like it a bit more. But that's fine. That's just cool. I still like that moment because obviously it's just nice to see. It'd be interesting to see what they do. Is there going to be a split up between those two at some point? Like, it's going to be like the son turning on the father. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Maybe. But yeah, I think. If you're going to match tonight, I would say probably the triple threat, like WWE, just because it's very action packed and it's got all the beats you would want in them kind of matches that would get like good ratings. The main event was good. Again, I think Cesaro proved what he's worth, and obviously Roman Reigns has just been killing it ever since he turned heel, basically. Yeah. I don't think I've seen a really bad match from him, like at all.
No.
He's consistently good. So yeah, I'm loving that. So yeah, if as a show. It's basically the level that most B shows are in WWE during the year.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, nothing bad. Well, as I said, except for one bad thing. But most of the matches are quite enjoyable. 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I don't I never feel like with some of these shows that I'm wasting my time most of the time.
No.
You know, and they are enjoyable moments. And again, with the Roman stuff, good story progression. The tag team, the one title change. I think that was the first. That might have been the first title change at Backlash in a very long time. With the Mysterios, it just doesn't happen apparently. So, but yeah. So that's our thoughts. If we're going to give it a grade, I'll give it. If we're going to give it by a number grade, I'll probably give it 7, maybe 6.
Yeah, I'd say a 7. Mm-hmm.
If we go grading wise, probably give it a C plus.
I just go bang on C. Like, it's passable, still okay, but again, zombies.
Yeah, damn you, them bloody zombies. But yeah, so that's our review of it. Hope you enjoyed. Obviously, when it comes to just a quick finish off, when it comes to prediction stuff, obviously, I think Josh is going to be on that the next couple of days because obviously you've been a busy guy, so you know.
I've been busy, yes. So we've just started the new Josh and Stu Prediction League campaign. If you're unaware of what that is, we run a prediction game every WWE pay-per-view. There's a round, and that goes all the way up until WrestleMania, and there's multiple games to try and qualify into the WrestleMania card. In particular, trying to get into the championship multi-pod match to win the JSPL championship. And we've just started off the campaign. I don't know what the scores are. I haven't even looked at anyone's predictions, but they will be up very, very shortly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because obviously we're tag team champions with Doc Savage, good friend of the podcast. We've won those titles. It's good to be. We're planning. Obviously, if we can keep the good prediction scores up, is to be like Kenny Omega and to be the collector of all the gold. But or we kindled the old cabinet of gold that I made up when we were last champions, when we won everything.
Won everything apart from WrestleMania.
Yes, the one thing. But apparently, as you've obviously followed it, if you listen to our last podcast, it's really hard to keep that title at WrestleMania. So good on Mags that was the first person to do that. So hopefully he can.
Good on Mags. Has he managed to defend against retro wrestling?
Well, to be fair, retro's been killing it. You know, I think there been Callaway champion as well as the
briefcase holder as well.
Yeah, it's really killing it. So hopefully he at least gets one title or something. You know. He does well, but again, as you said, find out in a couple of days. You know, that'll be out soon. But yeah, as I said before, if you got this far, as always, awesome. Thank you so much. This would be on YouTube. This would be on Spotify. This would be on iTunes. This would be everywhere you would probably think a podcast should be. Mm-hmm. It will be there. So, but yeah, so obviously, if you want the social medias, you want to go on the Josh and Stu Pod on Twitter. That's where you find the prediction stuff. The Josh and Stu Wrestling Podcast. If you want to go on Instagram, really been posting a lot on Instagram lately. All that kind of stuff. If you want to, you can go on our website at just put J&S Wrestling Pod, or you go on, if you want to just learn more information about, or you want to get involved in the prediction game, go at Josh and Stu. Always forget the Gmail. I was going so well.
Josh and Stu, for any inquiries at all, whether that's regarding sponsorship or the prediction game rules, or just to say hello, it's Josh and Stu podcast at gmail.com.
So close. I was doing so well. And I just, it's like going for the race and I messed up near the end. Damn. But we got there though. So yes, so if you want to find us on that, give us a bell. We'll have to, if you're definitely on Twitter, if you want to give a chat on wrestling. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything wrestling related. So, so when it comes to reviewing, we'll be back for, I think, Double or Nothing. I think AEW's, I think it's the next one. Mm-hmm. I think that's next week.
It's the end of the month, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's 30th, so I think that is next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's shaping up to be an interesting card, got to be honest.
It is.
So, so we'll be back for that. Look out for... or I think it was Wednesday before, was it next week or Wednesday? Plan to put out our review of last year's Double or Nothing on our YouTube channel. You know, just because that was a good show as well. So that'll be up, so don't miss that. You know, like and subscribe on us here, so you don't miss anything there. So yeah, we'll be back for that. Next WWE event, I'm assuming, would be Hell in a Cell. Should be fun. So
hopefully,
yeah. So yeah. So I don't think really more to say other than I've been Stuart Evan.
And I've been Joshua Plummer.
And see you at Double or Nothing. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.